The strongest hero equipment in all of Clash of Clans, the Eternal Tome, is getting a rework, and today we're going to tell you everything about the changes. It is unquestionable, undeniable that the strongest hero equipment in Clash of Clans is this, the Eternal Tome. Just the ability to negate all the damage on the base, thousands upon thousands of damage per second. It's ridiculous, and it's getting changed. And here is the change. It is getting a rework. So this is how it's going to go. The total duration has been increased by 0.2 seconds at all levels. I know, right? It's getting buffed and it's the strongest hero equipment in the game. Why is that? Well, you'll see why here. It now kind of acts like the healing tome. So the damage immunity effect ends 1 second after exiting the Grand Warden's aura. This is big. However, damage immunity effect is also given to units who enter the Grand Warden's aura after activation. Now, it's worth noting these changes aren't going to come into effect until next month, but if you don't quite understand what the changes are yet, watch this attack and I'll try and highlight it perfectly because you're going to see it here. The best way to show it is with the healing tome. That is how the new hero equipment's going to act, because the Eternal Tome's kind of different to the heal tome and the rage gem in the game at the moment, and it doesn't really make sense from a mechanical point of view. So we have the dragon on the left side here, nice funnel from the Archqueen, and look at this, right? So we get the warden in the center, and look at this, every troop that's in this Eternal Tome ability, every troop's going to get that for 8 seconds, regardless of where it goes now. And that's not really in line with the healing tome. So look, this blimp can now go the whole way across the base. Whereas have a look at this dragon on the top side, right? All these dragons up there, they are no longer getting healed by the healing tome because they're not inside the Warden aura during all this. All these troops down the bottom, they are still getting healed. All the ones up here, obviously they're not inside the tome, and so the Eternal Tome is going to work like that from now on. You're going to get invincibility for 1 second outside of the Warden aura, but after that you are not invincible. So if you want to do a long range blimp, it's going to get much more difficult because you can't blimp across the whole base now. Now, I know this will disappoint a lot of people, and I believe this has come into effect because of the Super Yeti clone blimps being incredibly powerful, and the regular Yeti clone blimps also being powerful. So, unfortunate for everyone who is enjoying just destroying bases with that. That's not going to be the case anymore, but I still do think you're going to be able to 3-star. So we're going to do a war attack right now, wherein I'm going to get the blimp in the Eternal Tome, but once it's been outside that for 1 second, I'm basically going to pop it open within a reasonable amount of time that the blimp would go down normally. So here's the army we're going to be coming in with, and there's one other really nice change of this Eternal Tome. And that is the LAVALOON puppet will now make sense, because think of it, the biggest weakness of the LAVALOON puppet was the LAVALOONs that would spawn would not be in your Eternal Tome, so they would get shredded. But now, as long as the LAVALOONs stay inside your aura, even if it's popped simultaneously, they will get the invincibility effect. So, will the LAVALOON puppet become meta? Let's find out in this attack here. Even though it is in the current build of the game, and obviously this isn't coming out till next month, we're just going to test it for the fun of it. So with this attack here, I'm going to use my Eternal Tome through the top side, but remember, we want to use our Eternal Tome much later than we were previously, because the blimp can't go across the whole base anymore. Once that blimp gets out of the Eternal Tome, it's nowhere near as usable. Definitely want the blimp. Should probably have you on air. Beautiful. And I'm actually going to delay a second here. Alright. We've taken a fair bit of damage. Keep in mind. Alright. This blimp is out for 1 second now. I'm going to pop it. And look, we've got the LAVALOON puppet going across the base. Is the LAVALOON puppet ever going to be good? I don't really know, because the downside of it is, right, the LAVALOONs are still going to just go straight to air defenses. So they're not going to stay in the Eternal Tome anyway. By the way, this hit got completely wrecked. Oh, I wish I popped this earlier. I just didn't know how to keep the fox alive. Yeah, I've completely messed that up. I don't know if we would have got it anyway, but that was stupid with the Royal Champion. I do understand that. But it's hard when you've got no spells. But yeah, you can see there, right? The LAVALOON puppet. This whole... I think they haven't been buffing the LAVALOON puppet because they thought that this would do it. But the LAVALOONs, they just target air defenses. So unless you find a way to get rid of all the air defenses on the map, I still don't see the LAVALOON being OP. I'd still think you'd rather use the Rage Gem or the Healing Tome. I'm glad they're trying to make the LAVALOON usable for every poor sod that puts some ores into it. Mine is level 20. I wasn't going to put it any higher. But as you can see here, I think if I didn't swag my Royal Champion, we would have gotten close. But the fact of the matter is, the LAVALOON puppet is not it. And you can see this will affect the blimps a fair bit. I had to pop the ability way later and the blimp didn't get that far. But we won't really know the changes until I can test it out for you guys, and that's not going to be until June. So for this final hit, I have switched to the Healing Tome because, yeah, I think that pretty quickly discredits the whole idea that the LAVALOON puppet can be good. If you take down every air defense on the base though, maybe they'll be worth it. But even then, they just get shredded, whereas the Healing Tome gives you so much extra life to every single troop. That was a terrible giant arrow. Rip me. But this is going to be interesting because I'm not going across the whole base here, but the Town Hall is a long way away. So it's going to force... Oh, rip the Queen. It's going to force people to not get as much value. So see, Blimp's out for about 1 second now. Now, if you're going to bring this many clone spells, you're always going to be able to get value though, right? Doesn't really matter. So I think this is hurting the balloon clone attacks, wherein you see like one clone for some balloons, because you can't not afford to get that right up to the Town Hall. Furnace is a literal cheat code on defense. Glad that that's still staying the same. Royal Champion, do your thing. And there we go. 3 stars. Now, was this a maxed out base? No. Unfortunately, it's the second last base that wasn't 3-starred in war. So I kind of had to take it. I couldn't take down one of the top bases. But we still have 10 plus dragons left. So hopefully this shows you guys, even with this blimp nerf, you're still going to be able to use your quad clone Super Yeti attacks. In fact, they will probably remain mostly unchanged. Unless you run into a NATO wherein... obviously, then your blimp's not getting as far across the base. But let us know down below, what do you think of this Eternal Tome change? We'll show the stats for it again here. Do you think this is a good change for the game? One of the things I don't like is, think of when you do Lalo attacks and you're trying to get headhunters in your ward and ability to slingshot them kind of across the base and take down some defensive air heroes. You're not going to be able to do that anymore, but I mean, Lalo isn't a meta strategy. They've shown no interest in giving it new levels anyway, so I don't know why I'm talking about it. But what other things do you think is going to make this stronger or weaker for? I'm really interested. Quad clone blimps, definitely still strong. LAVALOON puppet, just as much a joke as it's ever been.